wondering why a violin sounds so squeaky when a beginner starts to play? Well, they're probably in the wrong position to play the violin. Proper positioning while playing such a delicate instrument makes the biggest difference. In fact, everyone plays the violin using their left hand for the violin and the right hand for the bow. There are no lefty violins. Hello, and today for my job skills demonstration, I will be demonstrating how proper positioning is very important to a violinist and how it impacts the sound the violin makes. Before I begin, I would like to speak about the materials I'll be using today. Learning the correct terms of the parts of the violin is just as important to a beginner as learning to read the music. The materials I'll be using today are a violin and a bow. The parts I'll be referring to are the strings, the fingerboard, the body, the bridge, the chin rest, the neck, and the shoulder rest. I will refer to the parts of the bow once I explain the finger. To start, begin by creating a V with your feet. Once this is accomplished, move your feet about shoulder width apart and shift your weight to your right foot. This will give the player a strong and firm stance, similar to self-defense or karate. Then, take the violin by the upright body with your left hand. Extend your arm until the violin is perpendicular to the floor and the strings are facing away from the player. As the player does this, make sure the violin and the arm are moving in the same direction as the left foot. Then, carefully turn the instrument counterclockwise until it is parallel to the floor and the strings are facing the ceiling. Bend your elbow and tuck the violin under your chin until the shoulder rest fits comfortably with your shoulder and your chin fits comfortably with your chin rest. You should be able to hold the weight of the violin mostly with your chin and shoulder. To check if you are properly doing this, you should be able to let go of the instrument with your hand and it will not fall to the ground. Then, take your bow and place the thumb in between the hair of the bow and the bow grip. Your index finger will calmly lay on the bow grip, your middle finger on the eyelet, ring finger on the frog, and pinky right above the end screw. Now that you are holding your violin and your bow correctly, let's adjust your left hand. The palm of your hand should not be touching the neck of the violin. This will allow your fingers to move freely and not make you constantly go out of tune. Also check that your wrist is aligned with your forearm. When placing the bow on the string, tilt the bow away from you, making the hair of the bow at an angle when coming in contact with the strings. When moving the bow on the strings, make sure that the bow stays parallel to the bridge at all times. To ensure this happens, most of the movement comes from the wrist. You are now in proper position to play the violin. I will demonstrate by playing a few measures of the William Tell Overture. Begin by placing your feet in a V, shoulder width apart, and shift your weight to your right foot. Then, hold the violin parallel to the floor, shoulder rest on your shoulder and chin on your chin rest, making sure to hold the weight of the violin mostly with your chin and shoulder. Take your bow on your right hand, place your thumb in between the hair of the bow and the bow grip, your index finger on the bow grip, middle finger on the eyelet, ring finger on the frog, and pinky right above the end screw. Your wrist should also be aligned with your forearm, and make sure the palm of your hand does not touch the neck of the violin. This will allow your fingers to move freely. Lastly, place the bow on the strings at an angle away from you, with the hair of the bow at an angle when coming in contact with the string. When moving the bow on the strings, make sure it stays parallel to the bridge at all times. To ensure this happens, movement comes from the wrist. Studies have shown that children who have had 3 years or more of musical instrument training perform better than those who have not had any training in auditory discrimination abilities and fine motor skills. This is due to the fact that music trains both parts of the brain at the same time. After watching my presentation, I hope you have gained an appreciation for the violin and the technical knowledge that is needed of a beginner. Thank you for your time, and this concludes my job skills demonstration.